Right now in South Korea, the dating market isn't just a place to find love anymore, it's become a high-stakes corporate audit where everyone is a cold-blooded accountant and nobody's actually getting hired. Imagine you're at a job interview, but instead of a resume, you're being judged on the exact bridge of your nose and whether your parents still pay for your Netflix subscription. It's a total circus of contradictions that's currently blowing up across East Asia, and the contrast between what's happening in Seoul versus what's happening in Tokyo is honestly enough to give you whiplash. Picture this: over in Japan, a trend recently exploded where women started listing the literal advantages of being their girlfriend. It sounds like a sales pitch because it basically is. They aren't just saying they're nice or they like long walks on the beach. No, they are coming out with the hard data. They're listing their physical measurements with surgical precision, mentioning things like having a specific body type or being incredibly positive and low maintenance. They're flexing their degrees from elite universities and their stable jobs at massive corporations. They're basically saying, look, I'm a high-value asset, I'm economically stable. I enjoy gaming and staying in, and I won't get angry at you. It's an aggressive, all-out marketing campaign to prove they are the perfect partner in an economy that's been tough on everyone. But then, you look at the response coming out of South Korea, and the vibe shifts instantly from a sales pitch to a brutal interrogation, instead of listing what they bring to the table. The trend there pivoted into something called the Ideal Type Challenge. It's essentially a grocery list of requirements for a man. That sounds like it was written by someone trying to build a custom human in a lab. They aren't looking for a person. They're looking for a specific set of hardware. We're talking about height requirements that start at 175 centimeters and often jump straight to 183. They want a specific nose shape, clean skin, no protruding cheekbones, and perfect dental hygiene. But it doesn't stop at the physical stuff. They want a guy who is indifferent to every other woman on the planet, but treats them like a queen. And he needs to be financially independent from his parents while also maintaining a perfect, loving relationship with them. It's like demanding a 5-star steak from a vending machine and getting offended when it only takes coins. But why would they actually demand this? Why would anyone think this is a winning strategy for finding a partner? When you really look at it, this behavior comes down to the most ruthless kind of human survival instinct. In Korea, this isn't about finding a soulmate, it's a defensive move. By setting these impossible top 1% standards, they are performing a ritual of self-protection. Think about it: if you set the bar so high that nobody can ever clear it, then your status as a single person isn't a failure of your own marketability, it becomes a choice. You can say, I'm not single because nobody wants me, I'm single because nobody is good enough for me. It's a way to keep your pride intact in a society that is absolutely obsessed with brand value. In this world, your partner isn't a person you grow with, they are an accessory you wear to show off your own status. If your man doesn't have the right height, the right job, or the right facial structure, it's seen as a direct reflection of your own worth. It's pure, cold-hearted capitalism where human beings are just another commodity to be appraised and traded. So, what's the actual reason society turned into this cold, digital judging panel? You have to understand that these people are reacting to a world where the traditional ways of living have totally broken down. In Japan, the men have basically checked out, they're tired, they're overworked, and they've stopped taking the initiative. So, the women have stepped up as their own public relations agents, practically shouting their value from the rooftops just to get noticed. They're trying to lower the cost of finding a good partner by laying all their cards on the table immediately. They've realized that the old dream of a man just showing up and providing is over. So they're offering to be the ultimate supportive partner, sometimes even offering to be the breadwinner themselves. Meanwhile, in Korea, the pressure is different. This is a place where you are constantly being compared to the absolute best of the best. We aren't comparing ourselves to our neighbors or our friends anymore, we're comparing ourselves to the top 0.1% of the world that we see on Instagram and TikTok. If it isn't the best university, the best apartment, or the best-looking partner, it's treated like trash. This hyper-comparison culture has created a mass state of mind where the average is seen as disgusting. People have replaced local community values with global digital benchmarks. You aren't looking for a guy who makes you laugh. You're looking for a guy who looks good in a curated photo gallery. The society has trained everyone to view human relationships as either a massive investment or a luxury tax that they simply can't afford to pay unless the return is guaranteed. But what happened when they actually got exactly what they asked for? Well, the whole thing backfired in the most predictable way possible. When you treat people like products on a shelf, they eventually stop wanting to be in the store. The men in Korea are looking at these lists of demands, the height, the face, the money, the personality, and they're just saying, forget it. They feel targeted and exhausted by standards that are statistically impossible for about 95% of the population. This has led to a massive wave of resentment and a total withdrawal from the dating market altogether. It's created a culture of mutual contempt where everyone is looking for a jackpot, but nobody is willing to even buy a ticket. The result is a dating recession that's turning major cities into collections of high-end single apartments, where people live out their lives scrolling through images of people they will never meet because nobody meets the requirement. The hypocrisy here is enough to make your head spin. You have a system that demands perfection but offers nothing in return except a set of rules. It's a complete abandonment of the idea of mutual growth instead of building a life together. The goal is to find a pre-finished, polished product that fits into your existing brand, and when the specifications don't match, or when the person shows a single human flaw, the relationship is discarded like a piece of faulty tech. We've reached a point where empathy and understanding have been replaced by physical and financial checklists. It's the law of the jungle dressed up in a nice outfit, and don't think this is just an East Asian problem. This absurdity is spreading globally like a virus. Look at the rise of the movement where men in the West are packing their bags and heading to other countries to find partners. They're saying the same things that the women back home have become auditors, focusing on entitlement and demands rather than cooperation, whether it's a guy from Seoul looking for a wife in Tokyo, or a guy from New York looking for a partner in South America. The root cause is the same. The domestic markets have priced out the average human being. We've turned intimacy into a transaction. And now we're shocked that the market is crashing. If this continues, the future is going to be a total farce. We're heading toward a world of digital silos where genders are completely segregated. We'll have the best communication technology in human history, but we'll have absolutely nobody to talk to. The birth rates are already plummeting to record lows because nobody wants to take the risk of being subpar. The logical endpoint of all this is the rise of the I partner. Why bother marketing yourself or meeting a checklist for a human who will leave you the second they find a better version? Why not just get a robot that's programmed to think you're perfect? We're building a civilization of perfect statues that can't breathe. All because we're too afraid to be seen as average. The whole situation is like a grand, empty luxury store on the most expensive street in town. On one side, you have the Japanese approach where the staff is standing outside with elaborate brochures, desperate for anyone to just walk through the door. On the other side, you have the Korean approach, where there are massive security guards at the entrance with a list of requirements 10 miles long. You can't get in unless you're wearing the right clothes, have the right height, and have a certain amount of cash in your pocket. But the real joke is that both stores are completely empty inside. There's no merchandise. The sales staff is selling a dream that doesn't exist anymore, and the security guards are protecting a vacuum. We've become so obsessed with managing the storefront and the brand that we've let the actual building crumble. We are guarding a void with the ferocity of a king protecting a gold mine. But at the end of the day, all we have are our digital profiles and a very quiet house. We've forgotten how to be lovers because we're too busy being auditors and marketers. Fuel the truth at Dating in Korea. Support the structure. Stay safe in the lounge.